Aloha, my name is Chris RABANG, General Manager of the Westin Nanea Ocean Villas. Born and raised here on Maui, grew up in Makawao, upcountry. I now live in Wailuku, Maui, Central, and I work out here in Kaanapali. So the Westin Nanea Ocean Villas, we opened in April of 2017. And part of our commitment in our opening ceremony, we had an awa ceremony and everything, and they asked us exactly that, what our commitments are to the island, the area, whatnot. And so for me, what I said was, my kuleana to this place was for everybody that comes in, they're gonna have a genuine, authentic experience. So West Maui, Lahaina, Kaanapali, it's so rich in history. And I find it as part of my responsibility, my kuleana, to share these stories that our ancestors passed down to us and make sure that we're telling the story properly to all those that come to visit us. I think visitors in the travel industry nowadays, they're looking not just for the nice bed and the beautiful view of the ocean. I think they're looking for those authentic experiences and to learn something about the area that they're traveling to. And again, with Kaanapali and Lahaina being the former capital of the state, all the royalty and elite that used to reside here on Maui, I think it's important for us to share those stories and to help those visitors create stories and get more knowledge on Maui as a place and a destination. Yeah, with this project, we were blessed to have had some kupuna cultural advisors that came through and actually get involved with the construction of this property from the ground up. And what was important to our kupuna was that there was a place built with purpose, deliberately, centrally located right off the lobby, for us to be able to educate and do classes and share. And the cool thing about our property is it's not just the four walls of Pu'uhonu o Nanea, that's our cultural center. It expands beyond that, so if you walk through the property, the names of the buildings are all named after a Hawaiian element. The landscaping that we have out in our courtyard, it's a lot of it is indigenous plants, 80% of it is indigenous plants. There's a walking tour that's meanders throughout the property where people know Hawaiian names, English names, and what our ancestors used these plants for. So for us, it's all about, yeah, there's the lei making, yes, there's the language class, yes, there's the ukulele. I think it goes beyond that. I think it's more also, again, going back to sharing those stories on what this, from a sense of place, what this area was all about. And again, so that they experience all these genuine, authentic Hawaiian experiences from those that actually know, practitioner, are experts in Hawaiian culture, who have the manao to share that information with those that come to visit. I think I'm social by nature, and so for me, I love meeting new people. And the cool thing about working in a hotel and the hospitality industry is seldom do you work the exact same day twice in a setting. So every week I get to meet new people. I get to see people that are traveling in from all different parts of the US. And I view the team that I work with, the Nanea Ohana, as ambassadors, not only to the property, but to the island as well. And so when they ask us, where do locals go to eat, what activities do they do, it's not about what you can read out of a book, right? Out of a Visitor to Maui book. It's more about what are the unique stories and the unique from our perspective on where they should go, where they should try. And to share the Hawaii that maybe not a lot of visitors who don't go and Google or take tourist books, what should they do to come experience? And to me, that's the rewarding one, making them, sharing those areas where they might not have thought about and go experience something new when they're in Hawaii. So, like you, I was blessed to have been born and raised here on Maui. Was part of the first school at Kalama Intermediate Upcountry. Aged myself a little bit, but that's okay. Proud graduate of Maui High School as a Sabre alum. And I was fortunate enough with this career to have gone and worked in a lot of exotic places, like in the Caribbean and in the South Pacific, most recently in Samoa. But to get the opportunity to come home, back to Maui, where my parents still live, my sister and her family still live, I'm raising my family here as well. Was it a difficult decision to come home? No, not at all. It's probably the easiest decision that I've ever had. I knew relatively early that I wanted to be in the hospitality industry. As a high school junior, I think I walked one of the luxury properties over in Wailea. And then at that time, I thought, my goodness, this is some of the the most beautiful properties that I've ever seen. And I was talking to my cousin as we were walking there, and I was like, you know what, like this is, I'm coming back. Like after school, I'm coming back to go work in hospitality. At the time, and it still is the #1 industry here in the islands. It pumps a lot into our economy, even for those that are outside. It funds a lot of things that are even outside of the hospitality industry. So for me to go a part of it, and I think us as locals, we have a natural, welcoming, hospitable demeanor about ourselves. And we want to open the door and have people come into our homes and enjoy as we play host to them. And that's really the reason why I got into the industry, to be able to do what my parents and my grandparents showed me growing up, to do the same thing for visitors that come into the island. So when I got into the industry back in the late 90s, there really wasn't anything at that time. Tourism was really one of the few things that you could do that this isn't going to go anywhere. So it's only like later in life where, particularly as we entered the pandemic and the misconceptions of over tourism, do we have too many hotels around? Is the island too crowded? Looking at it on the other side, though, because of that, there are businesses that are thriving at the moment with the visitors. Maui's going to be a high-demand destination no matter what. It's the history and the reputation precedes itself. So, outside of the accommodations piece, hotels, yes, we're going to be full. Car rentals, activities, restaurants, we're all benefiting from Maui being a high-demand destination. And not only from an economical standpoint, where a lot of the money is going back and staying here in Maui County, but look at all the jobs that it provides for those residents here on Maui. It's providing a way of living. Some of us have been in the industry for 20, 30. People are retiring with 50, 60 years of experience. And that's got to tell you that there's at least that family atmosphere that's around. And as long as we do our part to help educate our visitors to respect the areas and the sites that they're going to visit, we do our part to educate them that way. I think you'll find some harmony and balance, as you always had in the past. And Maui will continue to just be a amazing place where both tourists and our locals can exist and be in harmony with each other. And it's all about that mutual respect for each other. So lately, you've seen a big shift for everyone. Their information is at your palms of your hands, and entertainment is at the palms of your hands. So what I'd like to see from future generations is maybe put the phones down for a bit, put the video games down, and just live, go experience things. I have a son right now, so, from a future generation, right in my own house, I was proud that my son actually wanted to get into hospitality himself. So he's going to go study hospitality in college. He goes this fall. And I hope he just continues to perpetuate being that ambassador, serving his community, giving back wherever he can. And that's what I hope for the generation, that it's not all digital, it's not all electronic. Get out of the house, go hang out with your friends, and go experience Hawaii and Maui as you should be, learning about the island, what was the history of it, and really understand how privileged and blessed they are to be growing up on Maui.